It's supposed to.
Fine.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to the May 2026 Memphis Calligraphy Guild meeting. And I don't know what to talk tonight. Start with the reading of the minutes from the meeting.
Okay, I was supposed to email it to Maggie, but Maggie and I have been in and out of the hospital all week. When I talked to her Saturday, I tried to send it, but it didn't go through. So I will read it this month and I will try and get it sent next month.
Okay.
April 13th, 2026, President John Covey called the meeting to order at 6:35 p.m. There were no visitors present at the meeting. The minutes from the previous meeting were read and approved. Lisa Tansey of the library brought books about card making. She also reported that people are getting on our Facebook account that are not members. There was discussion, but we no longer have control or passwords for this membership. Maggie was not present, but she asked everybody to sign in. Workshops and did not have anything to add. Old business, our state registration was in default. George signed up and paid it. He is now listed as our agent. We need to keep this up and report each year. John reported that Maggie Sherrard only receives our checking statements. Our savings were not signed over 2 years ago. So John, Gavin, and Maggie are now signed on, and we should receive a statement for savings. Also, we need to change from online statement to printed statements. The board would like to have a deputy treasurer to help, and Lois, and I don't have Lois's last name. Benson volunteered. Peggy reminded the guild that we agreed to have an exhibit at Dyersburg State in Covington. It's to be hung the 22nd or 23rd of June. She also reminded us that board positions will be coming up in August. If you are interested in one, please let us know. It is requested that the secretary send the minutes to Maggie Naylor and that they be sent out to everyone by email. No new business. The meeting was adjourned at 6:58 p.m. Katie Kunkel presented a program about making simple cards.
Here. We will
Move to approve.
All right.
Second, anyone?
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye. Okay, next on the agenda, treasurer's report.
That's good news. Okay, where is it going to be gone?
So was good. But George and John went with me to the bank, and it takes, I told him George was our honorary something, and he was the president, and I was, and he, okay, so John. So, our checking account is $2,331.86. This month's expenses was $271. $196 of that was post office box. My textures and $75 for the frames. And we have the good news is that our savings account is $5,626.20.
Nice.
We're well positioned. And our interest earned this one was $2.69 on that point. That's helpful.
Maggie, could I count those figures?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
That savings account includes $2,000 deposit for future audiovisual equipment or other expenditures related to equipment for the guild.
Did everybody hear that? Okay, that savings account has $2,000 that was given by
Margaret Grace?
Margaret Grace, yes, thank you, for audiovisual, and it was a gift in memorandum of his mom. So we still have that money. We still have not made any decisions on what audiovisual equipment we should purchase. And
Does George have a source for new or an improved?
No,
audiovisual?
George.
I don't need any. I've handled everything. One of these days, I've got to turn it all over to the guild though. Uh, they're they'll need somebody to can handle the operations at some point. At some point along the line, I'm going to get tired of doing this.
Yeah.
Well,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
we need somebody else to learn what you're doing
Mm.
to carry on if we're having meetings that are put on the internet and be responded to. And see, nobody else is here for anything for membership. We don't have any visitors tonight.
We almost there.
And nobody's joined us. And
If a cute little girl works at the post office, she was looking at my mail, I was trying to get Wade and so I mailed out, and she said, I want to run by like that. And I invited her to come with me tonight. She said she'd be here for me not to forget. And then I waited until almost 6 o'clock.
Well, I have several people interested in calligraphy, but they are in McNairy County and Hardeman County. And that's one of them is about almost a 100-mile drive. And they said, I'm not going to do that. And I don't think any of us want to drive out to either Grand Junction or Salisbury to have workshops.
John, I drove 100 miles from Mississippi up here, and soon Sandra Hudson drove more than that. And they can, if they really want to do it, they can do it.
Well, you really wanted to do it because you were here faithfully driving from down there to here.
well, do we have a place in Grand Rapids where we could do it? A workshop?
Grand Junction.
Grand
Grand
Junction.
I don't know.
Well, the library is back open, and I would have to talk with the city about that.
If they have something, it's about a 45.
45.
I mean, you get on the interstate, it's about a half an hour, 45 minutes to Grand
Well,
Junction.
I just go from my house, 302 to 72, up 18,
Mhm.
well, 718 over there, and it's something like maybe 40, 45 minutes. No trouble. Which brings up another thought. Emily Baker that used to work at Germantown Library, moved to Carterville, and the comment was said by Anna Benovitz, she was not going to drive to Carterville for any Calligraphy 101 sessions. And is anybody interested in if Emily's still there and it's can do that with anybody being interested in working on a limited time. Kind of like what was-
101,
right,
in Collierville?
yeah.
What would that entail? Would you say we had to teach a certain style, or what does 101 mean?
Well, 101 is the basics
Basic.
like, yeah,
Basic,
basic.
but what, like pen care or paper selection? Or
Well, this one, instead of what Ann started, she started about month 3 into the beginning. What we need is the first session is start out with what the pen nibs are, how to care for them, care for you, everything else. Then start pencil layout for the sheet, but during that first time, like I heard somebody say, 5-pen, the 5-pen nib width and height for the letter, and then 7, I think, or 7.5, or the caps or cinders, the descenders.
metallic?
Yeah, the full 9 yards, and what you would be using for maybe foundational, I think would be the easiest to learn. And I think everybody's started there at one time or another. And then you switch over into italic or other hands, black letter, uncial, there's a bunch of different things you can learn with broading. Then, yes,
John, Can we ever develop a curriculum for the book? I'm not imagining that. Seems like the ACA or something had produced a curriculum that was shared.
I think it did.
Does that ring a bell?
Oh,
It
that's
is.
a college semester.
Dennis and I were working on one. Maggie Naylor got in, kind of interested, and she was supposed to put together a small booklet for new members, and it never came about. And I think she brought it in one night and I stole it.
Maybe we should revisit that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Get together and maybe, select people if they're interested in doing that. Because I kind of have a meeting before the regular guild meeting or afterwards for a few minutes to get it started. And work forward because we do need to kind of extend that where we can, whether it's in Horn Lake or I know I went down to Hernando 3 times, different times. That's a pretty good little drive to go down there, and there was an attorney that actually had a small law library within the confines of Hernando's public library, and he wanted to learn copperplate, and so he called me, and I went down and gave him the basic letter styles, showed him how to do it, and he had exemplars. He could go online. He says, now that I understand this, you don't have to come back down here and drive. I will learn, and when I get ready, I will write my memoirs.
Oh my.
In his own pen. Yeah.
That's ambitious. That's really ambitious.
He has short memoirs.
John, when you were teaching Calligraphy 101, what was your schedule? Was it weekly or monthly or? Seems like
It varied with the library's availability,
Uh-huh.
and they would let us start in, I think, March. Then we would have sometimes 2 or 3 weekends, like on Saturday. Then we would have to miss a month for other people to reserve it. And then we would start back after a month, and with one session, maybe 2 that month. The next one, 3 weekend Saturdays we'd have that. But that went on for probably about 7 months of the year.
If worse comes to worse, there's nothing to keep us from doing this as a Zoom class, recording it and putting it on YouTube,
Yeah, we can do that.
or load it to um, uh, the guild's site on Facebook or one of the other program.
Do we have a YouTube channel?
We don't have a YouTube channel as such. I have a Memphis Calligraphy Guild under my channel. If you go in and type Memphis Calligraphy Guild, it'll come up on Facebook.
So I have just a comment about that. So you're talking about putting it on YouTube for free and for
Yeah,
anybody
anybody
who
that wants to
happens
play with it.
And I'm not so much concerned that we need to make some money because apparently we're doing okay, but making some money or donation would be good. And I think I'm really new at this, but I'm just trying to put in a different viewpoint. So I'm thinking you really want to gear it to the local community, to Memphis, to Collierville, all around this area. I am sure there are a lot of people that would be willing to join more
Well,
interest than what we see.
The other thing is, if we put it on Zoom or whatnot, we can talk to the libraries and see if they want to download or have us copy the YouTube, or I'm sorry, the Zoom meeting onto a disk for them, and they can have it at the library.
Well, that's good too. Yes. And that's local too. I just think it would be good to, part of the reason that people want to do calligraphy is because it's hands-on. It's not online. It's not, I don't ever see your face. It's this. We're face to face. We work together. And I think that's what needs to be further developed.
That's what Calligraphy 101, I think it helped for Peggy doing nib tips and things like that in our monthly newsletter. And then I don't know who suggested that we go start with the library with Calligraphy 101, unless it was Dennis Erb, that he was instrumental in getting
I think it was the library that requested it.
Germantown Library, yes.
Did request it. But what's her name?
Emily Baker.
Emily Baker.
Emily Baker.
I missed the first part of your comment, John. Are you saying that it's like Baker reached out to us? Is she the contact at Collierville?
If she's still working there, because she transferred from Germantown Library to Collierville.
I thought she moved to,
Yeah, he's still there.
Right.
I thought she moved on to Denver. I thought she moved out to Denver someplace.
You may. Okay, you're thinking about another Emily that was.
I'm a different
Yeah,
Emily.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had an Emily that was in our guild, and she moved out somewhere northwest. But keep that as a thought, and if we can let it grow, I know that the guild members volunteered their time, gasoline, paper, and everything else. But the library and the guild did purchase supplies for the people. Well, the library purchased the materials. The guild helped pay for it in a percentage, and then the students. The first time we made it Germantown picked up $600 tab. The students got paper, ink, pens for no charge.
Oh.
Yeah, and then somebody came back says, we shouldn't be doing that. You should be charging the students to learn and let them pay the fee for the paper, ink, and materials, and each student pays the same amount.
Yeah.
And that way you break the guild in Germantown Library would break zero unless you wanted to contribute more. And they said, well, we have the public funds to do so. I said, you do, we don't. And we're a small group, but it's something to think about, trying to grow it, because we, like you say, coming up in, was it August? We need to start finding somebody to volunteer for these board positions next year.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the supervisory capacity, the chair people to take over as workshops, things like that, library.
Do different guild members teach these classes in 101? It's not the same person that teaches all of it. right?
Hence,
We had, it depended
design
because
it.
we can design it either way.
at one time we had 4 different
Working on
teachers
it,
during the day. And they would teach different parts of foundational or italic and
Some pointed
Pointed
pen,
pen.
some broad edge,
Yeah.
some,
yeah, and it worked out that I think Maggie, I don't know, don't speak it.
She
but,
was doing
yeah.
something at St. George.
Huh?
She was doing something at St. George's.
Yeah, she was doing St. George, but Maggie came to work with our 101 group out in Germantown for an hour, and she picked up where Ann had left off. That Maggie was getting them to write a letter A, now B, now C, now D, and she was going through. And our students were saying, "Slow down, we can't go that fast. We're learning." Maggie was looking at intermediates level, and you've got to look at very beginners.
yeah.
And so they were having trouble. And I'll go through while she's doing one thing, I'm showing them the technical side. This is how you hold pen, pressure as you start down, let up as you curve, do these other things. They said, now I understand. They needed the very basics. And then we had broad edge and using C2, C3, C4. were different size letters. And after the last day, I've got a sheet of paper and I won't show anybody what it said. But anyway, yeah, I kept it as this guy really appreciated the teachers coming in to show them the letter styles and what's capable of being done with a broad edge or a pointed pen. And they're finding out, hey, it's just more than one style.
Has anybody ever taught the D series pens, that oval that makes a fat letter, but it does give thicks and thins?
No,
See, nobody ever teaches that, but
Well,
you don't-
Randall Hassan does.
you don't pick up the D pen very often.
No, very few people use that.
Calligraphy 101 class would be fabulous because I think I need it. Because there's a lot of things that I did not learn. You know, I do a class here and a class there because there's just not that much offered. I've got the basics, you know, about the nibs that you were talking about. I've never even heard of them.
all the Speedball series pens, you know, there's the broad edge C series.
Yeah.
D series is oval, so it makes the fat letter fatter, but it
Yeah.
has thicks and thins sort of.
I've never even heard of that. And really to know
Yeah.
even what the
ABC.
terminology is
Yeah.
very important. And
they
I
make
didn't learn that until.
Do they still make them all?
I don't know.
Speedball still makes A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
And
Yeah.
D is a circle, yeah, so it's like a felt tip pen.
Yeah.
And it's just a round, it's no thicks and thins.
well, your B series was round tip.
Because the
D,
B's round.
D is a square tip.
yeah, D was square, A was,
Oh, that's right, that's
Yeah,
right.
D,
What
oh,
was A?
D can be almost like a,
I don't
one of
know.
those.
There's an oval, a round, a square, and
You
the
can make it look like
basic broad tip. You see,
C is one we use mostly,
Yes.
but I have used the D with pretty good results because it looks like typewriter writing.
however, what we also might want to think about is doing a handwriting, a basic handwriting.
Yeah.
Palmer,
Yes.
Caesarian, whatever.
tonight.
Hmm?
My cousin left me a little metal box, and in that box was a handful of fountain pen, and George cleaned this Schaefer pen. It writes very well. Don't know the age of it.
That's almost 100 years old.
Wow.
That they made those in about 1934, 5, 6, 7, up through the 50s.
Do you have to take it apart?
Nope, that one was perfect order.
Hmm.
All I needed to do was clean it out and fill it up.
Oh, wow.
What is
All
It
the-
sounds like maybe we need to contact the Ivor Library. Also, I think the art center might be interested. You know, they have that space, the frame shop,
Yeah.
the front of that space. There was a period of time where I was talking to working with them, but I think that was right. But I think they would be interested. I don't know what the schedule would look like. I guess something like that. A lot of people are into that. Would be interested.
Yeah.
No, it's not ideal for everybody, but they would be willing for sure to help us out.
And they do sell calligraphy supplies. I don't really have anybody that knows very much because I started there 2 years ago, asking what they had. Yeah.
Straight here, all
See,
the-
that's perfect.
And he said there's a woman that comes in occasionally. He didn't know the person's name or anything, didn't even push me to the calligraphy. So, yeah. I'm
The
sure-
other thing that might be worthwhile talking about is seeing if we can get a couple of teachers in to learn basic script, basic handwriting, because they've started teaching again in some schools.
And homeschool.
Yeah, and the teachers don't know how to do it because they were in that period that they skipped it.
Teachers don't know how to write cursive, is that what you're?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Some of the teachers.
Yeah, right. And the question is, are they teaching the old Palmer method or are they teaching something else?
We're teaching something else.
Yeah,
Something to deal with.
I don't remember, but yeah, when I noticed that, yeah.
yeah, so.
And
Here's
Palmer
another
method
thing.
is a good starting class one.
Mhm.
I think we should think strategically because 2027 is our 40th anniversary year.
Yes.
Nashville's doing 45 anniversary next weekend.
So what?
Nashville's doing their 45th anniversary next weekend.
Oh,
They're having a
really?
party. Yeah.
The Dixon Gallery let us give classes there for free. We can find the teacher.
They might. They do have art classes.
And they have, when we're talking about the teacher things, they have teacher night out on Friday night where the teachers come and do art and stuff. So, and you can talk to Lacey and see, she's over on docents. I know, because I'm a member and a docent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Margarita does I can talk to Margarita.
would you do that? Because
I'll
I
try.
noticed that when they do the teacher things, when I share that with teachers and say, would you like to come and do the teacher thing? They're not always interested in painting, but they would be more interested in writing for sure.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And I am not at all qualified to teach, but anybody that is teaching, I would help.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the other part of it is the Palmer method. The books are still available.
Yeah.
You can buy them at Amazon and half a dozen other places. I've got 3 of them.
My father's.
And dates us.
Yes. That would be
Love to see that.
Yeah.
The Palmer Method book was copyrighted 1947.
But see, the thing about it is if we could get people to come, like or if they come to Dixon to do whatever we're going to do with calligraphy writing, okay, whatever, then we could grow our group with teachers and people that could use this, and then that would grow students. That's right, parents.
Yes.
It's a good market strategy.
Yes.
You could start with Palmer method.
Yep.
You could move to pointed dip pens.
Yeah.
You could move into Spencerian. You could move into what's the more decorative one? Engrossing and that sort of thing.
And from time to time, Dixon has had calligraphy on this. So that I think they'd be open to it. Talk to them and see.
Say about that. I'm gonna be in the West.
When we started Calligraphy 101, we were discussing that. There was a young lady named Carol Foster told Dennis, you're not qualified to teach. And Dennis promptly said, Dennis said, we're not instructors. We're showing what we know to get them started from what we've learned. And we do have professional calligraphers available. And then they did come in and work with us. And I can, but we do have certified teachers, instructors. And
I'm qualified Navy instructor.
well, I was not instructor by the state of Tennessee. I was twice granted the license to be an instructor for PDH's professional development, where we had engineers, architects, attorneys attending our seminars. And I think they wound up with what we were teaching, almost 8.5 hours. And that somebody says, hey, would you do it again so I could get all of them I need for the year? So if we can work with the state of Tennessee, with the teachers,
That's a great idea.
to have that.
That's
pushing.
Well, if I can get it,
Yeah, but I mean, for the guild, it would be
it'd be a very big
that's
undertaking.
an awful lot. We need to concentrate on building.
Start with 101.
Yeah, start with
Together.
101.
Yeah, let's start with, let's continue
Don't need to make a
101
commitment.
and offer 102.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
way ahead of,
Okay.
way ahead of where we can
Okay,
be.
we voted to participate at Dyersburg State and hang pieces on June 22nd and 23rd. Now, we have done this before. And we have to submit paperwork. I don't have the file. I'll talk to Barry tomorrow and I'll see if I can't get it and get it out to people. But the files have to be, these paperwork has to be filled in and it has to be in by June 1st.
Whoa.
3% of it,
The paperwork.
the paperwork,
Not the actual.
not the actual piece. And I don't know
I
about
mean,
you, but I'm gonna be
pieces.
digging out some old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we need a minimum, she said, of about 27 pieces.
Okay.
So I will try and type something up and get it out this week. But please go through your stuff and look at it. And then remember, it has to have wires and screw eyes. It can't be the little sawtooth. It has to have the wires and the screw eyes.
And the paper on
Yeah, probably.
Peggy, are we going to hang it?
It looks like I'm going to have to.
So we need,
it.
we probably need to have them
Before the 22nd and 23rd. If I'm
probably about, we could, if we've got some more central collect them here in town, we can get them the 17th.
Yeah.
Which is the Wednesday before the Monday.
What
Should be
you can check with Dixie. I'll check with Dixie.
Because
That before you do paperwork, so it has to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, I mean,
We started.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think it had to have your name, contact information, and then it had to have the size, and what you used on it, and what it's worth. And
Title, do they
Yeah.
make names? Let me know. Card to identify some.
where can we what? Where can we do?
Okay, well, we've discussed this, and I think this covers some new and old business, but is there any new or old business left to discuss?
I'd like to say something. For those of us here, if we don't have some volunteers to fill the president, vice president, all these board things, the guild will fold. Because we rotate off. This group right here rotates off. If we don't have someone that comes in and wants to try it and be a workshop chair and be the president, vice president, all that, we can't continue. And this is what happened before, where there was nothing left but a treasurer. And she said, legally, we can't do this. You have to have a president, vice president, because we're a legal group. So someone's got to volunteer. And if I know how you feel, if you don't feel like you're competent to do it, because all of us have been, all of us oldsters have filled these positions at some point. And, no one's expecting you to be perfect. You just kind of muddle through and do what you think. So I'm just saying, I don't know if it's new business, old business, but it's flat going to come down to it.
Oh, yeah, so, you you may not like what you think you know, or you may enjoy it, and you may think, I can't do it. I had those thoughts too, but I did volunteer for the positions, and the previous treasurer or vice president, secretary, or secretary, that's the only position I haven't held because I can't write.
Right, you're a calligrapher.
Right, I can't write because I'm a calligrapher. Yeah, but keep that in mind because it's a good experience, and I have fun doing this.
And if worse comes to worse, you can always ask the former holder of that office to kind of walk you through the process.
Yeah. Literally. So, any other business? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Can I have ask a question?
Oh.
Are you gonna contact Emily Baker?
Yes, or I will contact Caryville Library tomorrow and
I
see.
pulled it up offline. It looks like she's still there.
Oh, okay, she is, and if she's interested in it, because if you've ever seen anything that Emily's done, would you believe she's taken pieces of cardboard in 3D, a dinosaur, and the central framework is a piece of cardboard, then all the other ribs that she places, literally, when you look at it, you get the full shape of this dinosaur, teeth and all, just from a piece of cardboard. So, we've already adjourned.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
We're adjourned.
We adjourn. Okay. Now, several people have asked, what are we going to do tonight? Am I going to do anything? We're all going to do it. So I want you to get out your favorite broad edge pen, piece of paper, some ink. Do you have anything? Do you need paper?
Just to see where we're at on this. Zero.
Rip out a piece of paper and pass it on.
Okay. Do we need to adjust this camera because we're not getting a full view of the table? We can.
So sorry.
No, no, you're fine. You're.
That sounds like
All right, so I need to be over here.
See here.
Don't you?
a lot of it.
Yeah. Can I borrow your speedball book?
What?
The speedball book.
Oh, look. George, can you send this to me? I don't even know if I have a speedball pen.
No.
I don't.
How many of you are familiar with the pointed pen?
Weighted pen? Yeah.
Like a fountain pen. But George has got the fancy ones that you thick and thin.
Well, not all of them are.
Well, yeah, right. You got the new ones that, uh,
For instance, there's a fountain pen. And it's not a fancy one either.
That's the word you were thinking of, George Copperplate.
Copper plate and grocer script. And there's a couple of other versions. Round hand.
No, that's.
Careful.
Forward's at an angle. Now, after getting that finger mash yesterday, nothing is the same. If you've ever had pain, it will not make you fall on the floor. That was almost it.
You smashed your
No,
finger.
we were moving a oak desk with sharp edges into my office. And I call it my office anyway, secretary type. And it got stuck and the tall guy at the bottom of it moved it. And whenever it came over, it jumped and it jumped back, fell back real quick. And my finger was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the side of this desk is not movable. I mean, it bolted to the wall. And that desk goes smash. And I go, I couldn't say anything. Literally.
Move it back out and get your finger.
Well, it bounced. I mean, it bounced me up, but I got my finger up. It got that one.
You left some of it there.
You literally, yeah.
You need to get that one checked.
It fall off.
Yeah, but you might have done something underneath it too. You could have broken a bone easily.
No, it doesn't feel like it. I know what my dad taught me what that was once he got his finger mashed out at Firestone, and that was steel plates.
Yeah.
And he knew it. Okay, everybody, where do you start with this? You got to have 3 lines, actually 4. You got a baseline, waistline that determines the height of your letter, and
The X height,
The height of your X, it's an X counter.
the
Baseline,
lowercase.
waistline.
Baseline to waistline is for lowercase.
X-rays, yeah,
Then you have another one for capitals,
Capital
and then another
another
one
for
for
your ascendant,
ascenders,
then
and
one
one
for
for
the
descenders.
descenders. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, got your pen, pencils out, got some lines on the paper?
Are we doing broad edge
Or
broad edge pen or?
we gonna do pointy pen right now?
Oh, okay.
You can actually do this with
A broad nib.
broad edge, and we were at, the Presbyterian Church out there on Walnut Grove Road. One of the ladies in the guild had written this real nice looking copperplate style with a
C,
probably
C2 or 3,
Mitchell five.
or Mitchell, yeah.
Yeah, but I think she can do it.
Because technically, if I remember properly, copperplate is based off of an engraving style, and it's actually designed for a broader nib than the regular pointed pen.
Well, I think calligraphers mimic that.
No. Somebody wrote something out. They handed it to an engraver.
Engraver.
The engraver engraved it,
Yeah,
and then that created the style. And then everybody tried to replicate that style in a handwriting.
but also they engraved it backward and rubbed ink on it and
Mhm.
slapped it on a press. And when you got your high school cards with your names on
They
it,
were embossed.
that was a letterpress that had this copper plate that's engraved reversed. The guy rolls ink into it
Mhm.
and it scrapes it off of the face of the copper plate, slaps it under high pressure. The paper pushes up into that engraved mark, sucks the ink out of it, and pulls it back, and that's what you see.
I
And
can't imagine,
Hmm?
because it's hard enough to write it forward, let alone in reverse.
well, it was done that way. Well, not sure the full steps. A lot of it now is acid etched,
Mhm. A lot of it's photocopied.
photocopy. Yeah, everything over the past 100 years has drastically changed, except for when you see an engraver take a very expensive shotgun or firearm,
And
and they actually engrave the designs on that. And then some of it is infilled with gold, hammered in place. But anyway, uh, Peggy knows how to do this front one backward. That's the thing about it. We got few seasoned calligraphers that know how to do this and can tell you much more than I can that you can use the standard straight pen for copperplate or what they call a bleak staff. And that looks a lot kind of familiar.
Yeah, that should look familiar.
I did that.
You did that one. It's my favorite. It's the one I use all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm impressed. To actually see some make a piece of wood can and a person like Peggy picks it up and does all kind of neat things with it.
Again.
Are you ready to start with your basic strokes?
Enlarge that, George?
I'm sorry.
Enlarge that?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure that I can. Let's see if we can.
Is that on the box?
It's the overhead camera. Let's see if it gives me an option to video filters.
No, this is just
My studio effects. I don't think it's going to let me do that.
Can you press the camera down closer? Go down closer.
Yeah. Hang on. We have to.
No, we're gonna change.
Gotta change the screw.
Gotta change the pressure.
Let's see.
Full age.
If I'm not correct, it's this one.
It's small.
A new camera, George?
It is from last month. This one's a simpler camera. Uh,
This I don't know.
that's the smaller one. Figures. Oh, this is-
Oh, there we go.
That close enough? Better? Okay. There we go.
Don't scare us, saying you don't want to get tired of it.
Okay.
For those that don't know, there's basic beginning strokes. And maybe hopefully I'm doing this correctly. You have small ascenders starting right here and go up. The same, most of your letters start with that. I have seen some calligraphers that omitted that. So getting on entry
stroke.
entry stroke. Yeah, y'all know more about this than I do. I just do it. I don't teach it. But your entry stroke, and then the second one is like this for the end. It will start and curve around. Now, the same thing. I have so one teacher had like the letter B. They started lightly, go up slightly offset, come around. Then as you start down, you start applying pressure and maintain that pressure till you get to this point and let up fairly fast so that your hairline at the bottom for the B, same with the letter A. You start up very light, come around, down, pressure added, release it, back up. Start here. This is probably the most difficult part. And Peggy taught this more than once. Right here, I think you hang your right nib, press down, and pull down and release. But that top should be square on all the like letter on A, B, G, I, J. Well, even at the bottom, like on the letter H and K,
Yeah, I know.
the letter comes down.
Sit down.
And then, oh,
Sit down
There
before
you
you
go.
fall
Okay.
down. Yeah.
That's why I put the chair there.
Okay, thank you. And each letter, not sure which way to go with this because I just sat down and do it and I didn't give it much thought. After I got the basic strokes in, which was uh, this stroke, curve, heavy. Exit stroke is very light hairline. If you're doing AB, wait on your pen, release it, hairline up. And just right here at the top of the B, you just barely double line that around. Sometimes I've seen some calligraphers actually put a hairline loop in it. Some they press down just a little bit to make that point, but it does not close back to like you make the Palmer method B. Letter C, same thing here. Each letter here represented maybe the beginning of the word. Where you have the continuation of letters, the letter D, you coming up like that, right? Go back to B, curve around, but you stop it right for the next letter, E or the O or E. It's slightly mid, I think was about 2/3 of the height of the letter is where they intersect. Like right
Well,
here.
actually, certain letters go above the
Okay.
X height, and some of them are at the X height.
Okay, right.
An R and an S go over slightly the X height.
Well, they ain't got that far yet.
No, but
Yeah,
you're
it
getting there.
changes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's-
changes. Most of them
Sure.
are X height, with the exception of the up the
D is not,
BD.
yeah. Okay, here's another thing. B is, all right, let's look at it this way. D, F, H, K, L are at the
The
ascender height.
the center height. Yeah,
D is somewhere, let's see, D and T are somewhere just under the.
they're basically the capital
actually
height.
capital height.
The capital height. The T is actually a little bit shorter than capital height.
But I noticed that a lot of calligraphers,
They still extend it.
the yeah, the capital height is the same as the ascender height. And they've done that because they bring the loop over. And I write my capital M's different from a lot of folks. And that's what it makes it so unique. Each person will take what they have here, learn to write like this, and after a little while, you will have your own habit of making certain strokes and things so that whenever I get a card from Peggy, Norma, Beth, or any of the calligraphers, each letter, even though it's in copperplate, it's going to be different. And George's lettering is unique. And I don't know where mine is, but it's there somewhere.
Small.
In the
Yeah,
garbage.
microscopic. Microscopic. Yeah.
Pardon?
Microscopic.
I've been told mine is occasionally too.
It can be
I thought I wrote small, and I've got some ladies at church.
smaller than you.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, typically. Now, I intentionally write small.
Oh, I know. That's
But-
amazing.
Yeah, but it's like one of the guys at work one day had a piece of notebook paper, and he wrote on there, "Hey, John, can you write smaller than this?" Well, I sent it back, and I wrote on the little blue line in upper and lowercase with a very sharp pencil, and it says, "Yes, Gary, can you match this?" And he said, "You had to use a you used a magnifying glass." I said, "No, not on this one. You have to use a magnifying glass, but it's very hard to write that small because your hand movements are my struggle."
I'm putting you down.
And but you know now I met another lady that wrote smaller than me, but it's learning these motor skills of each character, and with that you develop your own style that you go back and once you learn that and you memorize the basic strokes, and as you speed it up, it becomes change.
It's going to change.
You can go back and think, okay, this is what each letter looks like. Sometimes you'll pull this out as a reference. Okay, I need to do this, this, and this. So I want to write this envelope for some person, but I want to show out what I can do. Okay, now, there's a lot to learn with each one of these strokes. And I know George is in there looking at it and saying, "Yeah, I know there's a lot of variation.
Did you ever learn? What was it? Eleanor Winters,
No,
a series of strokes
right.
that will combine to create all the letters of the alphabet. And I learned those. And I usually do those when I'm first starting. It's a good way to warm up. You get used to what you're supposed to do. And it depends on, there's Winters and who's the other?
Abraham Lincoln.
No,
Well, there is a
one of
no, there is a calligrapher named Abraham Lincoln who has done a book on italic.
Lincoln. There, one of them had like 5 strokes and one of them had 8 strokes. So, I mean, it's just another way to learn this alphabet.
It's like a downstroke and an oval for the left of the C and the little loop for the E. Those, if you just do a whole page, not a page, but like a whole line of. What?
You want to show them?
I do not.
You want me to do? You want me to do them?
If you want to.
Yes.
If I can remember them all?
Now, the other part of it is
Back
the
to-
Palmer method just teaches you the upstrokes, the downstrokes, and the rounds. They don't make any changes to it. It just continues.
You got a pad there, I'll just write on that. Yeah. I'll make this bigger.
Thank you.
One thing you need to know about this style is you don't have a broad edge pen that's going to give you thicks and thins. It's pressure.
It's all pressure and release.
Yeah, and when you dip that pen, you're going to have liquid ink on it. And if you press too hard, it's going to make a blob. But so you have to have, yeah.
Let's see if I can do
Ballpoint.
this.
All right.
That's ballpoint.
I am going to do this at 1/4 of an inch so you can see it. The first one is the entrance stroke on an A. It's just up. Just up. The second one is the entrance stroke on an H. So it goes up and up. And you kind of stop at the waistline and it kind of swings out from there. So it's not a straight line from the baseline up to the ascender. Okay, let me see. I gotta remember all this. It's been a while since I've done it.
The B does the same
And
thing.
the B does the same thing, and the K and the L.
F
Yeah. And then
and the A.
you've got the oval for the O. That's not slanted enough, I'm sorry. It should be a little. I don't use the, I like a straight pen. There, that's good. All right. Then there's the first stroke of the N and the M. Lightly going up, pressure coming down. And the V, lightly going up, pressure coming down, release pressure, go up. There's the downstroke of the B, the H, the K, and the L. And you just start at the top and you put pressure all the way down. Now, on the H, it's going to be, you're coming around in a circle. So you're going to be coming up light and then going down. And as you go down, you put pressure. There's the lower part of the G and the J. Starts here, comes down. And then there's one of these little gizmos. And that is, you add that Here, oh. There's something else, and I'm trying to remember what else I'm not seeing.
The R and the S,
The
when they go up,
Well, the E can be done with it comes up and down. That's all it is. You're at the halfway point, you're throwing it out. So it's just a variation on that. And on the R, my R is not, there are two ways. 6 ways, 4 ways, My R, it comes up just above it, a little bit, pops it. That's one R. The other one is up, over. I generally do that one.
The other one, it's got the little top eyebrow.
Okay.
but there's a third R that
Yeah.
nobody does because
I know which one you're talking. That's. I don't use it.
it's usually used at the end of a word.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could flourish it.
Yeah. And that's just this little gizmo onto that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And S, oh gee. This is up, down, little turn, and then you come out. And that's not good. Up. It's still not right. You can tell I haven't done copper plate in a while.
That's your personal, sometimes your personal exit for the letter.
Yeah.
We learn one way, but mind-wise and writing,
Yeah.
we alter it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, whatever works. When I go to a workshop, I always do what the instructor tells me to do.
Mhm.
And then when I go home, whatever works for me is the way I do it.
And the other part of it is too, you also tend to kick back to the first version of handwriting that you learned. Because when I was in school, we learned Palmer method. And because we learned Palmer method, the Palmer method actually does a circle on the top of the R
Yeah.
and then comes down.
Mhm.
Little loop.
A little loop at the top and
Yeah.
down.
It's like, I don't know how you do it. It's like,
There's the loop right there.
Right there now. Yeah.
Then there's quite an angle, quite a steep angle.
And if you screw it up and get the angles wrong, it looks like an E.
but anyway, that is really a good way to warm up others because you've done that. You've done all the letters. That's all the letters of the alphabet. Right there.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Seven,
Wasn't there one like
You forgot the Z. The Z is
the
one of
Z
the,
is one of
is a weird.
it's weird,
This is unique.
but
So,
it was one. Oh,
Z.
it's this one too. And a Z. Oh, Z. So anyway, that's that. I get out of great job.
no, you're fine. Okay,
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Beth, you have anything you want to show to add that? Okay, because what we do, you brought in your right person.
Because I'm left-handed and never go.
I haven't figured out how you do it.
Really? Are you left?
Maybe in
Okay, see, you're,
It's a lot easier with an oblique pen holder.
No, it
I
ain't.
like an oblique pen holder, and it's a lot easier for me if I draw my
Your slime line.
my slant lines, because I just can't. They wobble. I don't have that. So
Yeah.
those two things anchor your letters to me, you got your guidelines, you got your slant lines, you got your oblique pen holder. And so to me,
Well, I learned with the oblique, but I struggled with it so much that I don't know. Usually when I'm writing this, it's like this,
papers oblique.
and so my papers are,
There you go.
so I don't get them.
Don't need the
The
oblique,
oblique.
but my papers like.
Yeah, see, I don't.
Yeah.
understand.
So it's the same day, it's same difference.
Portion of it.
That was part of the handwriting style that you learned in grade school. Because when you were in grade school, they taught you to turn the paper to an angle. And like,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I've always thought of that.
that's the way we were taught.
Donna, you want to show them
I know how, but no, I didn't even bring a point Karen. So what should I show him? She's already shown him.
that? All the basics. Well, you were stop bragging about. Oblique.
Oh, an oblique. Oh, no, I don't think they're ready for that.
No.
The,
That's day two.
the oblique is if you're writing vertically and you need that oblique to hit the angles. You want to really screw things up, turn your paper to an angle and write with an oblique. You get it.
When I'm writing with an oblique, with the oblique, it's canted.
Yeah.
It's not
It's not,
straight.
it's not canted as much, but it's okay. But if you use the angle that you're writing normally with an oblique head, the angle is steeper.
I just can't. What she's doing right there, I can't do that because my pen scratches because it's going sideways. But in an oblique holder, it's pulling toward the. It's pulling the letter as it should be. When I write that way, the thing is actually wearing away the side of the nib on that side.
Yeah, probably, but it works for me.
So you have to just do what works for you.
And that's the thing about all this.
And you have handwriting in there too.
And
No, that's
I
just
did a workshop up in St. Louis one time, and there was a lefty. And he did not write from left to right. He wrote from right to left. I don't know how he did it.
He was an
but he
Arab.
did.
Yeah, an Arab.
No, he wasn't an Arab. He was up and wrote it from right to left, and it was right. When he got done, it looked beautiful.
So he just
Wow.
he flowed from one letter to another.
So he didn't.
So he wrote the letters backwards.
So he wrote them.
Backwards.
No, he wrote them the right way.
But the letters were in reverse order.
I can't.
The D, the E, the S, backwards.
Yeah, so it read left to right, but it was written right.
But you had to know how the word was ending.
Right.
You had to write the end of the word.
And the spacing and everything.
Wow.
That's all mental.
Yeah,
Right,
all
right there.
Yeah.
Because you have to.
That's a puzzle.
Yeah, I've tried to do that.
It's very nice.
Because whenever you think about the end of the word, you got to start here with the capital first letter of the sentence or the word line. It's very. I want to try that.
It's sort of like
Mine too.
if you were right-handed
Here, so
and you broke your right arm and had to learn left hand.
You could.
You can do it. You can do it. But the thing is, you have to unlearn all your right hand habits because, especially if you're not using a ballpoint pen, if you're using a fountain pen and you're writing that way, you're going to smear the ink every time you make it down.
That's true. That's true. You can practice this with a regular pencil.
Yeah.
Up thin, down thick. Up thin, down thick. And just a
Pressure,
little more
pressure.
pressure. You
Sure,
can
yeah.
practice that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Actually,
Be about a year.
try it with this fountain pen. This is just a plain cartridge fountain. And it's a little bit dry.
We got three lefties in here
For
tonight.
this, you might get a thin and thick.
Did everybody sign the book? Because I got three people missing.
Well, I'm not getting the thick and thin.
No, you
Not like I
won't. You
did
won't
this.
with that pen
Yeah.
because it doesn't. It's not a flex pen,
Yeah. Okay.
but it teaches the basic stroke.
You get the strokes. Yes.
Now, they are making very flexible nibs again. If you go back and buy a Waterman 52 from about 1930, 1925, it had a flexible gold nib,
Go on eBay and find it.
Yeah.
but you're going to pay $150 for that right now. And you used to be able to get it for like 15.
Used to use them. A lot of used to.
Are we good? Any questions or anything that want to throw back at it?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm gonna
Started learning from
Right. That's
because I tried writing.